Hi everyone. In the second video, we can discuss about the factors which are affecting the adsorption. In the first video, already we have discussed the introductory part of this adsorption, and now we can discuss about the factors affecting adsorption. The main one is enthalpy that can be represented with delta H. Okay, and enthalpy, I think in the 11th standard we have studied in detail about this enthalpy in thermodynamic. So enthalpy means nothing but the energy only. Okay, simply we can define enthalpy as energy. And in this adsorption, what is the enthalpy means? Enthalpy can be defined as the energy change. Okay, the energy change for 1 mole of adsorbate on adsorbent. Okay, this here enthalpy can be defined as the energy change for 1 mole of adsorbent. 1 mole of adsorbent on adsorbate. 1 mole of adsorbent on adsorbate can be defined as the enthalpy. Okay, which will be represented with the delta H. That means simply we can say the energy change occurs during adsorption, and normally this enthalpy value will be negative for the chemical adsorption. Enthalpy change will be negative for the chemical adsorption. We can say it will be more negative. Okay, the enthalpy change should be more negative for the chemical adsorption or chemisorption compared to the physical adsorption. Okay, and if enthalpy is negative means the process should be exothermic. If enthalpy negative means the process should be exothermic. Okay, so that will be the relation between enthalpy and adsorption. Enthalpy value should be negative for the chemical adsorption. The second factor is entropy, which will be represented with delta S. Okay, and we know entropy means the measure of randomness or disorderness. The measure of randomness or disorderness is known as the entropy. Okay, so this entropy is decreases during adsorption. Entropy, already I have told you, the entropy means the measure of randomness. So during adsorption this entropy will be decreases. And why it happened, why the entropy decreases during adsorption? Because mainly in the last video we have discussed like the adsorbate will be mainly it will be gases. The adsorbate is mainly gases. So whenever the gas molecule get adsorbed, its movement get restricted. Okay, the molecules, when the molecule get trapped or get adsorbed, its motion get restricted. Therefore we can say when it get restricted means the delta S value is decreases and it become negative. Okay, so delta S also negative during adsorption because delta S is decreases due to the decrease in randomness of the gaseous molecule. Earlier it was free to move, so randomness was high, but when it get adsorbed, that time randomness get decreases, so delta S also negative. And the third factor which depends on the adsorption is Gibbs free energy, that will be represented as delta G. Okay, Gibbs free energy can be represented as delta G. So, and delta G can be connected with the enthalpy and entropy with the following equation. Delta G is equal to delta H minus T delta S. Okay, delta G is equal to delta H minus T delta S. Delta H is the enthalpy and T temperature and delta S is the entropy. Okay, and normally for a spontaneous process, the delta G should be negative. Delta G is always negative for a spontaneous process. Okay, spontaneous process means the process take place by itself is known as spontaneous process, and for that process the delta G value should be negative. And in this video already we have seen that delta H should be negative and delta S also negative for the adsorption. Delta H and delta S will be negative during adsorption, but to get negative value for delta G, this delta H become more negative. Delta H should be more negative than this delta S, otherwise delta G should not be negative. If delta G is negative, then only the process is spontaneous. So one thing, make sure that this delta H will be more negative than delta S. Both are negative, but delta H should be more negative, otherwise then only delta G become negative and the process becomes spontaneous. Okay, And the fourth factor which depends upon the adsorption is temperature. Temperature is having a vital role in this adsorption, because as we increases the temperature, the rate of adsorption also increases. Okay, when temperature increases, the rate of adsorption increases. Suppose if the adsorption is a physisorption or a physical adsorption, when we will increase the temperature, the physical adsorption turns to chemisorption. Okay, so that means it will lead to the formation of a chemical bond. As temperature increases, if it is a physical adsorption, that will be turns to chemical adsorption. Okay, hope you understood this video, and thank you for watching. If you like this video, please subscribe to my channel and press the bell icon and stay connected always. Thank you for watching.